everyone, it's Tanny Games here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing a theatre inspired speed build. Definitely going for or getting inspiration from Oswald and sort of the silent film era and things like that. So I wanted to do a theatre setup just because of him coming to the game. I think it's giving me the freedom to do some creative ideas that I wouldn't have done before. I mean, when it comes to this theatre build, nothing here is really Oswald specific. I don't even think I have a single Oswald related item in this build. So it's definitely a build you can replicate without sort of Oswald's items and things like that. It's definitely more of a red color palette, as you can clearly see. So I have gone with the sort of ornate red hanging curtain wallpaper. I completely lost my train of thought then. I was like, what is it called? And I was just so confused. But yeah, so I've gone with that. I've just seen I did add in the Oswald door that you get with his friendship quest. So, but I mean, you don't have to use that for sure. You could use any other door in game. It's not like a mandatory requirement to use the Oswald door. Oh, and it looks like I used some Oswald tables here. But again, any kind of little tables would do. The more I watch this, the more I'm realizing I did actually use Oswald items. But yeah, I wanted to kind of go with, I was thinking about sort of movie theatres that I've gone to. Typically the chairs tend to be kind of like a black color. If you're lucky, I remember back in the olden days, Odeon used to charge extra for premium seats. I don't know if that's something they still do now, but to sit in a leather recliner, and it wasn't even a very comfy recliner, you'd have to pay extra for that. And the regular seats were just cotton fabric. I used to think those premium seats were amazing, and then I went to other cinemas and realized it wasn't all it. There was, when I used to go to Cineworld in Bolton, they had a cinema room there that had these red cushioned seats, and they had these tables. I actually saw one of the Studio Ghibli films in the cinema, and that's when we had that. It was their art kind of room kind of thing, so not for the big blockbusters. It was more for those indie films and stuff like that. But it was not that Studio Ghibli's indie, by the way, I'm not trying to say that. But yeah, it was more for that. They were kind of the films that typically showed in that cinema room, and that was one of the best cinemas ever. It's just a Cineworld in Bolton. There's also in Berlin, there's a cinema I went to there with my partner, and they had leather reclining seats, and they were proper leather seats. They were kind of the leather seats that you would put in your house. They were good quality, and they had table service, so you they'd come round and ask if you wanted anything, and they could bring drinks and food to you. That was the best cinema ever, that one in Berlin. That was incredible. I love that. But anyway, this is me going on about cinemas when I should be talking about the build. So you'll see here that I actually used one of the new fragment pieces. It is this stained glass window piece. I used it to kind of represent a theatre screen. You'll see at some point I move it out the way and try putting a bunch of TVs on the wall, just to kind of see if that works better. But it just doesn't. All the other TV screens felt so small. So I thought using this stained glass window would kind of give the appearance of a large screen, even though it's definitely not. You know, sometimes you've got to be creative. You've got to use your imagination and things like that when it comes to these builds. I do also end up adding in a stage surround with some red curtains on it. I did change the wall against the back wall to this black boarded wall, because I thought it would kind of give that depth of like how usually it's kind of dark and stuff. I was thinking more like typical theatre vibes, like, you know, you have the stage, they have their curtain, and obviously the background of the stage and the sides of the stage are kind of dark. You don't really see backstage, if that makes sense. So that was kind of what inspired the look of this. Was more of a typical theatre rather than like movie theatre, if that makes sense. So that's kind of the direction I went in with this. Of course, I do have issues with it not centralizing. Of course, this game is typical and nothing centers, so I was a bit annoyed and frustrated about that. It was, yeah, just like, let us center the items a bit better, please, Game Loft. That would be much appreciated. I think everyone wants that at this point. I do see if I can add in, yeah, here we are now, the like curtains that match with the other curtains, like the side, the ones that pull to the side. But why doesn't that red drapery line up to the very top of the ceiling like the others do? I don't understand it. So I was originally going to drape it all the way across, but it just looks ridiculous not being the right height. So again, Game Loft, you gotta do something. You gotta do something. Yeah, this is the part where I'm trying out the TV screens. I probably would have settled for this, but it didn't fit in the space. And then this is me trying the tiniest TV screen, and I was like, no, that won't do. That simply won't do. And then I had a look to see if there was any other wall items I could use instead. I think I looked, yeah, see, I checked the memory frame, which was better, but it just wasn't it. So again, skip that idea. But yeah, this was me just kind of like checking the room. I do at some point go and get some like popcorn and things like that, especially because I've used the Starlight bundle, the popcorn machines from that. It kind of just made sense to me to add in some popcorn decor. I do add in also a little candy floss on a little like table. I had wanted to put it on like a shelf, but I didn't realize you couldn't set the height of the shelves. So when I tried to like put the item on the shelf, I couldn't lower it, if that makes sense, because I wanted it to be kind of like a regular height level. These are just some like fancy pieces. I just thought they looked kind of grand and worked with the red colors in this like movie theater kind of space. So that's why I went for those. You'll probably see it actually, I've put some neon Mickey lights. The reason why I put those in is because I was thinking of how when you go to the cinema, usually the steps have little lights on to kind of like guide people, especially since like it's dark obviously when you're watching the movie. So if you go for like a break, you know, a toilet break or something, you kind of need to see your way back. So I thought the neon decorations might work really well, but I guess you could also use things like the simple lamp or melted candles and things like that as little indicators. This is me just trying to look for some artwork. I do matching Mickey artwork in the end. Originally, when I set this up, I had a Mickey and Minnie artwork piece, but I was like, do you know what, we'll go with the two Mickey ones. We'll have it kind of like very even, almost symmetrical kind of thing, especially since I've gone like very symmetrical with the chairs and stuff like that. With the chairs that I've used, I've actually used the couches and also the single chairs. The reason why I did that is because in my hometown, the cinema I go to there had like these cuddle seats. So they're like effectively two seats joined together, so that if you're there with your partner, you can kind of like cuddle up and stuff like that. And then they also have the singular seats, so that's why I decided to do this mix of like single seats and the couches. Another thing you could do if you wanted is you could remove some of those single seats next to the couches and put tables in, and again just kind of like decorate with popcorn or candy floss or things like that, and I think it would work just as well. Anyway, I do believe we're getting to the walkthrough part. So since we're getting there, I will wrap it up here. To all my subscribers and channel members, thank you so much for supporting me and this channel. I really appreciate you guys. It means so much to me. To anyone who does like or comment on my videos or even watches them the whole way through, thank you so much. Your support on this channel really helps out, so I am so appreciative of each and every one of you. So I do just want to say a big thank you to you all. Anyway, I'll let you watch this little walkthrough section. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye guys!